Hello and welcome. This is Kai at the Thrifting channel. I'm back with another video of sorts. So, welcome because you are probably watching this live. If you're on the replay crew, I appreciate you as well. So, I recorded this earlier. This is my second recording, and I thought sometimes I just start talking and I get off track. And I wanted to tighten up my message today. So, on that note, let's start. Now, I got a phone call last night from my oldest child, and my oldest child said, "Can I be honest with you?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I don't want you to thrift anymore. I don't want you to thrift. I don't like this reselling thing you're doing." I mean, he respects that I do it. You know what? He grew up with me doing it. I was thinking about that today. How he literally grew up with me reselling. So he was there when I had board games and toys all over in the closets, filling up the closets. So I guess he's so done with that. And I empathize with him now about that part of our lives. But he doesn't realize that, as with any hobby turned business, I don't feel like I'm working. I feel tired, but I get up every morning excited to do this, excited to thrift or resell, or even going to the post office is exciting. So my son has an idea for me that I should get a part-time job. Not because I'm going to stop thrifting or reselling, but just, an extra income. He thinks and he believes that, a paycheck, the standard way of making money, going to a job and getting a paycheck, is the better way of making money. Now, it's really funny because aren't these tables turned? Because I spent my life as his mom teaching him, go get a good job. Go get a good job. Get your car and your house and your wife. So he's got the wife in the car. Now he's working on the house. He's basically followed the template that I would have suggested he do anyway as he was growing up. And I did. Now he sees me doing something kind of avant-garde. Still, in this society, we know that being a reseller is not looked upon as a stable income. He still looks at it kind of like, Mom, you need to get a real job, quote unquote, real job. So he's been trying to convince me to go back to work part-time, in some capacity of the arena that I am accustomed to doing, which is customer service. On the entire spectrum of customer service, I've pretty much done most of it. So I said, look, there's got to be some caveats here. It has to be something I can do in the house. And it has to be something that allows me some, flexibility, as much flexibility as I have with reselling. So, he's been kind of nudging me that way. And he was like, yeah, I just want you to stop reselling. He's tired of the bins. He's tired of not the Goodwill bins, but the bins that store the inventory. And he's tired of me talking about my storages. And he's all done with that part. Now, I empathize with him once again because he grew up with me reselling. And I was once him. I once had these ideas for my mom and what my mom should do and how I saw what she should do would be better and more stable. And I know, and I had the same ideas about my mom. I wanted her to be comfortable. I wanted her to be taken care of. I wanted her to be happy. But I felt like what my mom was doing was not a good idea. My mom moved from her, the home that we grew up in, into, we had a tiny little, cute little cottagey type house that we grew up in. And then my mom decided, after my dad had passed, she decided no matter how paid off that mortgage was, she wanted a bigger house. So she went from this nice little cottagey house that we all grew up in, to a 3-story Victorian style older, home with a servant's quarters apartment in the, well, I would have called the attic. It wasn't an attic. It was an actual apartment in the upstairs, on the 4th floor. So, bedrooms all over the place, 3 bathrooms, older home, had a history. I think they were in the process of finding out whether or not her home was historical. But nonetheless, my siblings and I tried talking my mom out of it. And my mom was like, that's a no-go. That's a non-starter. So she decided she wanted this house. She had her mindset on it, and she got it. And she was happy in her huge house, where it was so big that you didn't know, even though, and my siblings and I are all grown up now. I'm a mom, I'm married, my brother was out of the house, my sisters were out of the house. We're all out of the house. So it was my mom in this big old house, and she started renting rooms out. Sometimes, whenever she wanted to, she would rent out a room. Anyhow, and we tried to talk her out of getting the house in the beginning. Like, why would you want to go from no mortgage to God knows how much of a mortgage, and have that all on your head? And she's like, that's just what she wanted. On that note, I won't stop reselling. So I'm kind of looking in both directions. Like, I can look back and remember how I felt about my mom doing something that I didn't think she should do. And I can turn around to the other direction and I can see my son, but I'm now in my mom's place. My son is the one who's like, Mom, I don't want you to do that. And I'm like, it's a non-starter. We're not talking about this because it's not going to end. My thrifting days are here to stay. So look, the whole point of this is, obviously, I appreciate all of the care and concerns from my kids about my reselling. Could I use an extra, couple thousand a month from a job? Yes, of course. Who couldn't? It's again, I know that there are probably positions out there that I could look at, and I told him that I would look into it if it made him, feel more comfortable, because he's been bringing it up an awful lot, and I know his thing. If he's talking about it a lot, that means he really wants me to do it. He's like, I redid your resume and all these things. So obviously I'm going to look into it. But if you have family out there who really don't understand why you thrift and why you sell online, I mean, it does look unstable to the outside person. Like, how can you guarantee you're going to sell everything in a month to meet a certain bar of income? You can't. But you can trade your hours at a job for pay. That's pretty much guaranteed income. So if you are in that position and you're not looking for a job, or you already have a job, but you still have that family member that's like, that reselling thing, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work out for you. If you still have someone like that in your life, you just have to keep making sure that what you're doing in your life doesn't hurt you or hurt anybody else. You're comfortable doing your reselling. If you want to add a job in there or stay at the job you're at, then do that. I just watched a YouTuber the other day who is not a reseller talk about how she's going back to work. She's kind of like at this crossroads on her channel. She's like, I love my channel. I love doing the videos, but she's gotten back in the game, so of the regular 9 to 5, which is wonderful for her. It doesn't work for everyone. And I don't want you to feel pressured into it. If you have family members that are like, that reselling thing's not going to work for you, it has to be your decision. So I told my son I would look into it, and I honestly will. And I don't feel pushed into it. I know he has concerns, and yes, it wouldn't be so bad to have a regular 9 to, I don't want to work 9 to 5. I'd like to work third shift, which was always my favorite night owl here. I don't know. I'm a night owl and an early bird. So you know how that doesn't really work. How does that work? You're a night owl. You're up all night, but you like to wake up early. The answer is yes and yes. But I digress. I support you. I support you. I can't see your face right now. You can hear my voice right now. If you are just feeling discouraged, family members or not, whatever, if you feeling discouraged and I support you. I don't even know you. I've never met you. I support you. Why do I do that? Because if you're not hurting anybody and you're happy with what you're doing and you want to continue to do it, then continue to do it. It's absolutely 100% your life. That's what my mom taught me. No matter what I said or my siblings said about her getting that house, it was what she wanted and she got it. And I'm glad that she got it. Although she's not with us any longer, I'm so glad I didn't talk her out of it. And even more importantly, she stuck to her guns. She's like, no, I'm getting this. It didn't hurt anybody. She managed her money. So yeah. I'm very happy that I didn't push her into doing something that she didn't want to do. And that's it. Just don't get caught up in what other people think. I support you. And yeah, that's it. That's what I'm talking about today. So I was thinking about how when I was reselling the board games in the 2000s with my husband, how fun it was to go into the thrift stores back then, because in the part of the country we lived in, it was a very high older demographic. And so, as people got older, went to nursing homes and things of that nature, a lot of that stuff was donated. So vintage galore back then. We were able to find vintage board games. So many vintage board games, Springbok puzzles, if you're familiar with that. I mean, we're talking like we would fill up. We had a little Cutlass Sierra, 84 Cutlass Sierra, and we would fill the trunk of that sucker up. I mean, with all that inventory. But you know what? The funny thing is, as eBay became more popular, I think eBay became legit popular when they mentioned it in the first Spider-Man movie. When he said, "Oh, I'm going to sell this on eBay," talking about the Spider-Man suit. To legitimize eBay back then in a film where everybody was watching Spider-Man, it really put eBay on the map. And I just remember, like, from there, it was all up, going up for eBay. It wasn't anything in the shadows anymore. Some weirdos, going to some old lady's house, getting her old things and sticking them up online, or some weirdo, with a bunch of crap in her house trying to sell it online. It wasn't that. It became legitimized. And so from then to now, I still feel, again, like, people look at reselling as kind of like this, you're a weirdo still. You know what I mean? People are making millions and millions of dollars reselling. I'm not one of them, but I know it to be true. So it's not just, it's not a fad. We all know this. So on that note, if you are thinking of reselling again, or if you're reselling now, again, I totally support you in your reselling endeavors. And I will keep you posted about what I say to my son. And if I end up getting a job or not, I will try, but we'll see what happens. I still have to go and list all this stuff out here in this other room to sell it no matter what, right? That in itself is work. So I better get to it. I will see you in the next video. I'm Kai, and this is my channel. It's called the Thrifting Channel, where I talk about thrifting and reselling and family and stuff. I'll see you in the next video.